All right. What's up, YouTube? Just hopping on live here. All right. Okie dokie. All right, everybody hear me okay? All right, everybody hear me okay? Oh, whoops. It's YouTube up still. All right. Once everybody hops on here, we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys want to check it out it's on YouTube as well. You know, I got I'm sure nobody's ever thought of it, but I decided to record it live on YouTube so that way I didn't have to email it to everybody. Genius, I know. I'm just kidding. All right. Excuse me. All right, just give everybody just a second to hop on. So keep an eye on that one. That one. Where's PLTR? All right. You guys know the deal. Oh, I got a lot to talk about on PLTR. In fact, once we get done with the major indexes, we'll go over PLTR. Because if you guys have seen the insider selling, you know, a lot of people are getting spooked by that, and there's no reason to be spooked at all. At first, when I was looking at the insider selling, I was like, you know. But then I looked and it was like, you know. It was like, you know, this is for a purpose. Yeah, I got a couple things lined up. I'm streaming this on YouTube as well, so I got a couple things I'll go over, and then we'll go over that stuff real quick, but one thing at a time. Oh, you're good? I'm waiting for everybody to get on right now. All right, go back to live trading. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll go over that shortly. Just want to give everybody a chance to get on. Yes, there is insider selling happening on PLTR. We'll go over that. Nope, you guys, if you just got on, I just hopped on, so you guys are good to go. This is on YouTube as well. My camera's on there, but not on here. I think we'll have, if we don't have 25 people, I might turn it on, but. All right. Well, looks like I'll give everybody one more minute, and then we'll get to it. That's right. Okay, so we're going to be writing down, making sure that we write down what we have going for next week or what we're watching for next week. Make sure you guys are writing a playlist, right? If it's outside of your play, I don't know why I just used my t-shirt. Let's see. Obviously PLTR. Video. I'm going to be writing these down as I go, just to reiterate them for myself. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. So as of last week, the S&P's changes. We were down 0.43%. The NASDAQ recovering 0.31%. Russell down 0.42%, and the Russell down 0.42%, and the Dow down 0.51. Crypto, as you guys know, that one got laid out, and we have yet to see really any resurgence. Right now, I'm seeing a potential meltdown in the crypto market, but I haven't really put my thumb on it quite yet. I'm on cash, so I'm not really too worried about it quite yet. I have a bunch of alerts set on it. So the economic calendar, something you guys can write down, on 5/25, we have April new home sales. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. 25, new home sales. And then we have the jobless claims on 5/27. That's big. And that's going to line up with the unemployment, jobs available, and we'll see what the country has to say about that. Personal spending on 5/28. And of course, that's April personal spending. Income. And then spending is the next day. Or next event, during that day. Earnings this week, if you guys haven't seen, let me pull those up real quick. By the way, if you guys type any questions or anything, this is going on YouTube, so keep it clean, please. You guys are good. Nobody said anything. Don't want to get booted. Okay, so I'll let you guys take a look at it. We're gonna go over just like kind of things that we're looking for next week, and then we'll go over the ETFs watch list, starting with PLTR, some details on that, a few others that I'm watching, and then after that we'll go ahead and get to your guys' request. Okay, so first off, none of these below really, I don't know anything about them. I haven't really seen any that really catch my eye other than Ride. We've already played that. Hopefully nobody's holding any positions on that, or any full-size positions. Watch list, okay. Did you like that? Have you guys seen my TikTok? If you guys haven't seen it, really? All right, cool, man. Because I feel it's definitely taken me out of my comfort zone for sure, but it's been fun. So, because that's literally us, dude. So, like when we, that's what Manny always says. He's always like talking about, um, always talking about that. So, yeah, hold on 1 second. I don't even know why I'm gonna do this, but I'll share it in the chat. I know a lot of you guys don't have TikTok. There you go. Okay. So anyway, Ride, of course, is a big one that we're going to be paying attention to. Of course, that one. You guys kind of heard my breakdown last time on why I'm bullish on them. I think they're bottomed out, but earnings will be indication of where we go from here. So. But anyway, AutoZone has earnings here on Tuesday. Ship, which is actually one that I'm going to write down, ZS as well. So, and these are not like major. I kind of just want to see how they perform after earnings. So I'm okay with missing any implied moves or anything of that nature. AutoZone, not so much, but ZS for sure. I wouldn't mind keeping an eye on that one. Lee Auto, Snow, and Nvidia. So Nvidia is obviously huge on our list. I don't think there's going to be one admin that's not going to be looking to take advantage of that. And I really don't think there's going to be a lot of people who are not trying to, like, I think we're obviously we're not going to be the only ones. So option premiums are going to be expensive. So when you take positions on this, obviously for small accounts, that's a different story. Or for big accounts, like if it's well within your risk management, then do what it do. But other people who have small accounts, you're going to want to try and take advantage of this, on a Friday or a Thursday afternoon. And you're not going to want to put a ton of capital out there, but it could perform lucratively after earnings, and we'll see how earnings perform. I have no doubt that they'll do well. That TikTok was fun though, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So Snow. Okay, yeah. So Snow. I gotta organize this. I don't really need to leave this written down. Where's my eraser? All this desk. Can't find my eraser. That's because my daughter runs off with my eraser constantly. It's pretty awesome. That's alright. I'll just do it with the shirt. With my hippie shirt. 1 second. Alright. Anyway, so Snow, of course. I know a lot of you guys play Snow. I am not super familiar with this one. I've never played Snow. Like, I don't think I've ever really played it, but so Nvidia, Snow, Lee might be worth looking at, but I really want to I'm also looking at Workday. I want to see how they perform too. PDD has Pinduo, but I'm not really familiar with what they do whatsoever, so I'm not really gonna I would put some time into that one, but I'm not really interested in it, just to be honest with you. Dollar Tree, Costco, Best Buy, Ulta, that's Thursday. Those are definitely ones that we'll pay attention to. You know what I just realized I may do? I'll do that shortly. I'll do that after. So yeah, Dollar Tree, Costco would be definitely on the top of my list. Ulta is definitely worth looking at. I think with online sales being up, and then I do think with the opening of stores and stuff like that, they could have a decent earnings. You might see Ulta push up here. So makeup, nothing happening really. Yeah, nothing on Friday. So, all right. So, outside of that, what is this stuff? All right. Okay. So we'll start with SPY here. As far as the daily is concerned, that white line that we had set for a target is exactly where we rejected. And it basically said after this white line, we could definitely push back up and make a new high on SPY, somewhere around 425. Excuse me. We did end with kind of it wasn't terrible, but it definitely a pullback. So we could see a little bit of consolidation here. If futures are green, right? If we end up being able to gap up on futures, then there is a decent chance that we could maybe bottom here or double bottom off of this. So I'm on the 5 minute, excuse me. We could pull back and bounce off of this 414.16, or if we gap up, maybe we pull back to this previous low around 415.77 and perhaps make another tag at this. Right now, it doesn't really. It looks like on the hourly it ended with a bear flag, with this 9-day moving average crossing over the 20-day EMA. And so you may see some a pullback to that 414.13. I don't know how green futures are at the moment, so I really can't put my thumb on it. Let me go take a look at it. No. Am I tripping right now? Huh. I don't know which one of these it is. Why do I not have regular ass futures here? This is not how it pulls up on my TOS. Must be different. Anybody want to fill me in on this one? Yeah, I'm not really sure what that is, but I'll look at it later. I'll just look at the chart for now. I think bottom line is this level, 417.50, is pretty crucial going into tomorrow. That's going to be the main resistance. We're well above that 200-day EMA, but a pullback and a bounce there is definitely. Thank you. Awesome. There we go. So the S&P up 10 points. Whoa. Oh, excuse me. The S&P is up. Okay, 0.24%. NASDAQ up. The VIX down. Well, that's always a good sign. Where is that for us? 416. Well, that's kind of where we would want to see SPY at, is the somewhere around 416, somewhere around this engulfment level. Anywhere above 416.80 with volume, I think that we could definitely see a push up. The RSI looks like that it may want to see a little bit more of a pullback here before it bounces. But all in all, futures are going to dictate where we move from there. But looking at the grand scheme of things, we're kind of dead center, almost on that linear deviation line that I talk about, that kind of splits that pattern in half. And so that's, if you look right here, we're pretty much dead center in the middle of this setup. So just a break above there, and I think we'll see all-time highs. So it's going to be kind of pivotal going into this week. But with the reports that we have coming out, jobs, new homes, that kind of stuff, those numbers could definitely influence where we go, or how the market responds. So let's look at the Qs. Same story here. This one has more of a rising wedge, so not quite a recovery yet, but the RSI is definitely speaking that there is the potential for a break above that 330 level, 330.81. If we zoom in here, almost a dark cloud cover. So dark cloud cover is a gap up and then a pullback of almost or basically 50%. I would say that we were almost a few percentages away from losing 50% of that, but we ended up settling on the 50-day EMA there. RSI's dead center. Volume was pretty good, in relativity, I guess, but that was more or less, in my opinion, a retest of the resistance that we broke, just unfortunately coming on a Friday. So let's look at IWM, the Russell. This one, woo, sheesh. There we go. TikTok taught me that. It's not my fault. It brainwashed me. Okay, so retest. That's pretty simple there. I think that on IWN we could see a rebound. It's the same story. It's really funny. We kind of got and it's odd, but we've got a rain on each one of the major ETFs right now. If you look at it, they all kind of have that same setup, and each one of these white lines was the price target I had on Thursday evening. And so right now, I can't. What I see right now is we hit that target, rejected, and then we went for a retest, right, of the downtrend that we broke. Something that we talked about, I think a couple of weeks ago, about breaking resistances in a bearish market. A lot of times you can break a downtrend, catch it for a quick bounce, but for the most part, it'll just continue down using that what was resistance as support. So that's something to keep in mind. So if I was to pull this line down like so, you could continue to see it just use that as support and make lower lows that way. So, but of course, we'd like to see it move up here. So we'll see what happens. Has a little pocket here. Okay, so let's do. We did IWM, the Russell. There we go. Wait, what the hell? Am I tripping right now? I might be tripping. What? I know, but I'm like typing in the Dow. It's saying no symbols match my criteria. I feel crazy right now. The Dow Jones. Take me there. That's not it. Did it get taken off the fucking... Is that a sign the market's gonna crash? I'm just kidding. Those of you on YouTube, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. You can't stop me. Alright, see, I'm not tripping here. Look at it. It's right there. What the fuck? Well, I just had to go around my ass to find a chart, but here we are. Okay. And this one's running right now. futures right here. Oh, that's ugly. All right, so same thing here. Now, I've seen prettier charts, but it does look a bit like a flag on this hourly time frame. This right here seems to be a correction. Drawing, you see the most respect here. If you draw it, and then you have like this massive gap that's sitting above on the Dow right now, right? So it starts right there. That's my target right now. And this is now, okay, so here's what I was thinking. So this may be more accurate, correct? So we may see let me see if I can pull this back a little bit. Sorry, I just had to transition that on YouTube. Okay, so this is what I've thought, because I saw this as a potential resistance, and then saw like this breakout, so it kind of solidified that for me for a minute. Thought, okay, maybe double bottom here. We should see another leg up, but being weary of the situation and of the market conditions, I'm always looking at things, trying not to come at them from any type of bias perspective. So that being said, YM. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know what that was. It might, yeah, you know what? That might have been that because I had TradeStation linked. You might be right. So one or two things. This would be another trip down to support, which I feel is kind of highly unlikely, and that would make 1, 2, 3. Which might bring us down, or I don't think that happens, but I could be wrong. Or this is a flag like we think, consolidated under resistance, and we'll see a leg up, and the next leg up we'll see a little bit of resistance at 344, but the main gap opening up at 345. And once that hits, I think we should be able to fill that gap. If we do trend up tomorrow, then I will likely start looking at a certain CAT, BA, certain stocks like that for potential long calls. Coupled maybe daily swings or something like that. So, but same thing here. So this one's just up against resistance. The other one's looking like they're more or less above and now retesting the resistance that they broke. So it's going to be pretty pivotal. We're going to have to watch where we gap up on Monday. Volume is going to be a huge indication. Obviously, the reports that we have coming out also have a huge impact. So, all right, now let's get down to PLTR. Okay. So we'll pull this up. TLTR. Okay. So starting right here. Yeah, you see sell, the mark at which it was sold, date. Okay. We can see that since pretty much the end of last year and going into this year, that he has been selling pretty consistently, right? He's not selling. These are automatic sells, automatic buys, option executions. This, right? And I'm going to explain this in a second. Get out of here. That's the mead. I'm drinking mead right now. Somebody gave it to me. So yeah, so he has a multitude of automatic sells, automatic buys, the option executions. But the most important thing, and I'm going to basically just go over this really quickly, and I'm going to make a video on it shortly. But this is for taxes. He has a lot of taxes to pay. And the reason why is when he converts his options, right? So I'll just go over this. So the last sell that he did was 1.8 million at $20.02. The cost basis is 10 cents. That's a $14 million profit there. Not a bad return. So as far as shares that he still owns, so this doesn't help you guys feel a little bit better, he still owns Class B shares. The difference between Class A and Class B is just like voting rights, essentially, is 74 million, right? So he owns 74 million Class B shares. He owns 6.4 million Class A shares, those of which that he has recently sold. And so all in all, he has 81 million shares of PLTR at the moment, equaling, around 1.6 billion. And he's also been given 141 million shares, or equivalent to shares, in options, right? Now, every quarter, those get verted. Basically, they get activated, right? So they get used. That, what do you need the link for? What link for what? What I'm talking about? Oh, yeah, here, I got you. There you go. Okay. Anyway, this, I mean, I could go into it a little bit further, but essentially taxes, this is where like he gets taxed. And in order to pay those taxes, if you look at the numbers, it's like $447 million, right? That's exactly how much, around how much he's sold. So it appears to me that it's just automatic selling that is happening right now. So this is, I don't think, anything to worry about. He still has 81 million shares of PLTR at 10 cents. So, and honestly, looking at the chart, that's where I'm like, okay, cool. I posted this in my channel, but really nice descending wedge there. Look at those buyers, man. Pew, pew. They know where the 10 cents, my guy. 10 cents, my guy. How rich do you want to get, Alexander Karp? Right? Don't we wish? Okay. So that's about what I have to offer as far as the PLTR situation. For those of you who are looking at those of on YouTube who I'm sure may watch this video, or just any of you who are long-term PLTR holders, I think you're fine. I think, like, all in all, this is going to end up being a great investment. And if you're a long-term holder, if you're down right now, I just think you need to just be strategizing how to optimize, get really good at this stock. If this is something that you're holding, learn how to trade it, learn how to open up spreads. You could become a master at trading one stock if you do it consistently and don't burn yourself out, obviously. But okay, so PLTR descending wedge right now. I'd like to see it break above 2130. That would probably give you an attempted run to 2240 if you can close the day up. And I do think that it is going to be if that happens, it should be a considerable amount of volume on that influx, I think. And that's what I'll be looking for as confirmation. So tomorrow, tomorrow. So pull that up there. This down there. And there you go. Little triangle here, bilateral. So anywhere above 2116, we could see a little bit of a run up to setting another alert at 2160, because that'll be added confirmation. It looks like 22 essentially, 2195 just to fake out the bears. Looks like that is a support there as well. Okay, so it looks like anyway, that 21.95, $22 mark, and I think we could see a breakout from there. Otherwise, we may see a little bit of a pullback back down to support if the market doesn't trend in our favor, because we kind of are a little bit pent up here.
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
She's looking.
Just
This guy's selling.
I just went over. I'll just do it really quick, but I just digging into it like really deep. He sold the last sell. He had 1.8 million at 2020. Basis 10 cents, $14 million in profit. He owns 74 million shares Class B. Class A, he owns 6.4 million, 81 million shares all in all, so still has about $1.6 billion in the company. He also gets a nice salary of 1.1 million. But he also is given 141 million shares in options, worth of options, and those get verted every quarter. And that's where he's selling these shares to pay the taxes on the conversion.
So have you ever been on OpenInsider.com?
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw the little key at the bottom where it tells you like sold from options or sold from like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly where I figured it out right now, because I saw somebody tweeted about it. Like saying like, hey, Alex Carp didn't sell a bunch of like shares that
these are automatic. They're automatic.
Exactly.
He doesn't even know they're happening. He doesn't like they're not. They've been scheduled in advance because they go along. And if you literally on the dollar dot, $447 million is what so far the options are. The taxes, the conversion, like on the taxes on that. Shares purchased or shares converted from options, that's the amount due. That's the amount of share value that he's sold on the dot, 447 million. So it's yeah, he's holding the bag. He's just paying his taxes. So and he's still collecting the bag with options. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming you charted it earlier.
Oh yeah. It's in my channel. Yeah.
Let me see. I'll go look at yours real quick before
I think it's gonna pull back before it hits resistance. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like it fell underneath support, climbed up, and it's got a little pennant, but the pennant is split in half. My stream is up too.
My chart is a little different than yours, but it's close. I have mine where it just broke out, and now it's gonna like ride down the resistance.
See,
a little bit. You feel what I'm saying?
I see.
Yours is kind of tighter. Mine is a little bit. I gave it more room, kind of thing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I like to keep the support off the wicks. Sometimes it depends on the. I mean, honestly, you can run them both because they're both respected.
Right.
So.
And that's what I do sometimes too. So I'll put both in place just in case, like, I need something there to, like, explain what's going on at the time.
The reason why I charted mine that way was the three taps that we got back in if you look on the hourly, April 21st and April 29th. Both of those, and then you could even go April 13th and then February 22nd. Those angles, it just didn't fit, like I guess the if that makes any sense, like the geometry of it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I see what you're saying. So you think it's gonna probably get like one more?
I think it needs. Yeah, I think they're gonna let it. They may even taper it down to a linear deviation. So halfway, like that halfway, let it catch up. Let me go look at the daily real quick. Yeah, let the EMA catch up. So even just back down to 20, right? Let it consolidate into 20, and then I think like it's going to be one of those things where you might need to set a limit order or something, or I can't think of the name right now. You need to set a buy order. Yeah, I literally couldn't think of the name. I don't know why I went brain dead there. But set a buy order, just in case, because I think this thing, due to where it's at, I think.
What is that price point if it were to fall back to that trend line? I can't tell on your screen. It's kind of hard. If it were to fall back to your trend line at the bottom, what's that price point? Right above the volume bars. Is that 16 or 18?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
The price point at the bottom of your trend line, right there.
Right here.
Yeah, what is that right there? I can't
That's
tell.
17.
That's 17. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that wouldn't be a bad buy, honestly. If it went back to 17, I'd buy more.
right. So right now you're dealing with this really hefty support of our resistance, 2120. It looks like on the dot, nice little wick right there. If you go down to the 15-minute, I see this, right? 1, 2, 3, breaking down trend, retest. That's what's maybe having me think that we could fall rather than pull up, right? Bottom out right here. Buyers can't take it past this line. But I mean, I could be wrong. We could just use this as a resistance and still take it back up and then reject, So I mean, very well could still break out of this pennant to the upside, but you would just see a really like not very clean break to the upside. It would be like a doing, doing, like doing, and then dump, like kind of like that. So, but that's what I'm thinking right here. So I'm gonna set an alert on it at 20:45.
I grabbed some shares last week. I didn't grab a lot.
I think accumulating shares. I think with the small account, with the $300, I think 25 to 30%. We're just gonna buy, shares. Obviously, we can't do fractionals. So if we have to not do that, if we make $10 in a day, then we'll just leave it alone. But yeah, I think PLTR is one of the ones that I'm going to look at buying and holding. Setting up that foundation for the small account. So.
No, it's definitely smart.
We'll try and build the $300 account up, and then use the attendees to go on a Simple Stacks meetup.
There we go. Dude, have you seen Stop on the daily?
I tell you what, I'm gonna play this thing one day. After everybody wants me to play it. What does it look like? It looks like a Head and Shoulders on the hourly.
On the hourly it does, but check out here. Let me post my chart. I posted it on my channel, but I posted.
Oh my god, dude! What is this?
Look at this.
What the fuck?
I think it breaks that resistance, bro. Straight rocket ship to like 1310, 1320, and then get out. Like just take it at a break of that resistance of the triangle, and then get out close to 1300s.
I'm drawing something right now. Did you post it yet?
Yeah, it's in my trading.
Okay, hold on. I got my OBS up, so I got like mad screens flashing and shit.
What's OBS?
Huh?
What's OBS?
It's just a streaming platform.
Oh,
Okay, I see you. There's also, yeah, that, I mean, you even have that like almost wedge set up too. The doji's not. What do you think of the doji, the long-legged
The
doji there?
doji,
That's a
yeah,
long
I
legger.
love it.
A
I
long
love
legger.
it, but I think if we can break above the high and like break right through that resistance, then I think we might be clear to take it to 1300s. If I see it going like south and trying to break below the low of Friday, then I'm not even touching it. I'm just gonna wait because this thing can just teeter back and forth. One thing about Shop is it's really good at faking you out.
It's either. So here's the thing I with rejections. I'm trying to look back and see what it does at previous supports, resistances and shit.
Resistances. Typically, it's more of like a one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch, and then blows through.
So go look at January 25th. That looks pretty close on the daily.
Yep, I see it.
I wonder
That doji?
yeah, do you think we get a sharp rejection? Because if you look at I mean, we have, I think we have the same, yeah, we have the same resistance. We don't have the same support. Well, yours is daily. Yours is daily.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, mine is just running off of what I see right here. You got the 200 pretty tight right there. I don't know, man. I can't. That one's good. You could even just, you might not even see like a real bad rejection. You might just have a pull back and let those EMAs cross over. That might be what you see. You know, but
Wait for that confirmation.
right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
I think
bad,
that, like, if it touches resistance, I'm gonna give it like a little bit, unless it's just the volume is just like crazy and it's just pumping
Yeah.
through. Then I'll get in. But if it breaks resistance, I'm gonna give it like a candle or two before I decide to get in.
Right. Okay.
Just just to make sure. But if it pulls back, then I'll wait. I'm not gonna do shots premium. They're not cheap either.
No, they're not. The spreads are always crazy.
The
So
spreads are awful. The spreads are awful, man.
those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for the likes. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna go over my playlist so we can get to your request. First off, Baidu, finally. I think we might be able to manage this one here because it's really in a trap and it needs to move here. So, looking at this one on the daily. So if I pull this one up right here, very obvious, well-respected downtrend, exchanging. You get this crazy pullback there, and now looks like we have a bear flag on the daily, right? That's pretty damn big. And if that does end up to be true, now we could continue to kind of consolidate here. I can't say that like tomorrow's the day, but it doesn't look good as far as Baidu's trend. It is on or did bounce off of a support, but this isn't really an emphatic bounce that I would want to see in order to give me an indication that we are going to move further to the upside. The 200 is basically 200-day EMA is deadpanned here. Yeah, Baidu, definitely on my list. I'm going to, all right, so I'll give you guys the first target that I have on Baidu. Obviously, I'm short on it, okay? That's if I haven't already given that indication here. So 175, obviously, that's going to be the nearest support that I'm looking at for towards the downside. I could be wrong here, guys, and maybe I looking at Baidu, I could probably even give it, like a support right here, right? And I might even set up GAN fans on that one, but looking at it right now, I think that it's so far away from support, and it's made no effort to make a real higher high during this whole time, operating on very, very low volume. Kathy unloading shares unloading them on high days when it is up, right? Whenever it gaps up, what do we hear? Kathy sold more shares. Kathy's not stupid. Kathy's selling her shares for a goddamn reason. And deadpan 200-day EMA, I really think that with tomorrow or next week, anywhere below 187, so set your alerts at 187, that's when we're going to start seeing the pain resume, or not the pain, I was going to say pleasure, but that's just, it sounds weird, but the attendees will resume for us to the downside. So I'm looking at taking potentially a 175 put out June 18th, and I'm also looking at scalping this one Monday 185s. Now I may not even scalp it, I may just day trade it. Let me reiterate that. I may enter those two initial strikes at first and like wait for that opening range breakout and get a good indication of where we're moving, and then take that to the downside. Of course, Monday premiums are going to be expensive, so we'll have to play this one. But I have 175 as a target. If it did end up really, really falling like it has here, I mean, like, look at these drops. Now, this came off of the news for China, but with the sanctions, but this drop would have it back down to 135. Like, even if it just flat dropped. But I'm trying to see upside on it right now. I'm trying real hard, but I don't see it anywhere. I don't know. Maybe somebody can come talk some sense into me, but I don't know. Let's go look at the hourly really quickly. Hourly, same story, at support, right? So what we could do, wait for the initial break. I think you would see 186. A retest of that support is big, right? So we'll either take that initial strike, take profit, wait for that initial retest of support, and then we'll continue to take it short. So what else do I have on my list? PLTR, Nvidia. This one has earnings, so please, Lord, don't do any crazy stuff here. But it's gonna rip, and I'm pretty sure everybody is gonna be playing Nvidia, so which means premiums are gonna be spicy. So if anything, at the bell, you know what, if you really, I mean, I feel like I'm just admitting about what I'm going to be doing, but if I was me in a different universe where I'm not going to be doing this, I would probably immediately at the bell select like a $700 call and I'm talking about like June at a minimum, because I'm not going to get wrecked. And then I'll hold that. And then maybe like a 550 put. I don't think, Atlas, help me out here. Do you think these earnings, I think Nvidia is going to crush earnings. Guidance?
I'm bullish on it. I'm super bullish on it. But my only thing that scares me is the semiconductor shortage and how bad that could have affected their revenue. That's the only thing that scares me. Because I'll say this, as a company that I work for that does not use, like, we use chips, but like they're very inferior compared to what you would need for a decent computer, because we're not putting stuff in computers, right?
Right.
But we're literally struggling to meet demand because we can't get enough chips. And we're still blowing through our revenue targets, but we're not like exceeding them as much as we could have if we had all the stuff that we needed. Now here's the thing, I don't know how realistic Nvidia's revenue targets are compared to that, like us, because we're in a completely different industry.
Imagine, but like,
that's the only thing that worries me.
Right, and the only thing that I'm thinking is if anything, it's been the semiconductor shortage, but anything on their shelves is getting wiped out. You know what I mean? Like as soon as it's created, it's gone. So I mean, if anything, that would, and then you have a massive like surge of streaming, video game, EV, a car. I mean, like everything. So if they can manage, if they have any type of guidance on managing that, I think that could really play out in their favor.
100%.
So
Also, I don't know. I don't think has come out yet, but they said they were working on some type of legislation for it. So if that comes out too, like right around the same time, dude, talk about this thing's gonna run.
yeah, for sure. It looks like on the hourly here we ended with a nice little flag. It's kind of ugly. There we go. Little flag, little hourly pennant. Yeah, so I mean, really, if we gap up tomorrow, if we gap up, I would imagine we gap up around 605, retest that resistance with a quickness. There it is, right there. Look at that. Oh, I love when linear deviation is perfect. Like, look how mathematically, like, look at this.
That was literally in dead center.
Yeah, that's why I love it. So gap up above at around 604, 605. That I would see a retest potentially, or a small gap fill, which would have you retest, and then at that point I'd be looking to take it to the upside. If it holds. If it does not, then we would obviously be watching this support around 595 for the bounce. There's a gap below NVIDIA, which, listen, market makers know. I'm not saying that I mean, everything looks great, right? The split, that's awesome. But earnings is right around the corner. It was different with Apple and Tesla. They had, I think they announced them on earnings, if I'm not mistaken. Was it after? I believe it was on earnings or right after, because they all had earnings the same week. Apple and Tesla had earnings the same day. And both...
And also, the market was so different then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Growth stocks were hot.
Yeah.
So hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't know. I'm bullish, man. I mean, yeah, I'm a little biased, but I'm bullish.
Yeah, I mean, me too. But biasness aside, here's what I would say if I was looking at this. I would definitely say there's this relatively decent sized gap that market makers could use to take advantage of people who are eagerly trying to get into this. And this has been something that we have taken. We can't pretend like it's not a real thing anymore. Market makers, with Citadel, with all the information that we have on how things operate, we know that when they see influx in calls and or purchasers or just volume, retail volume, and that's when it's really important to take a look at the chart and see what they're doing. Are they kind of tapering things off just to drop it off, or what are they building? But the gap is right underneath us. So a 5-minute break of the 200-day EMA, which I can literally set an alert on that specifically right here, 5-minute 200-day EMA at 595.50. And there we go. Yeah, so a small gap below that, definitely could see that get filled. And then from there, I'd definitely be looking to take that to the upside. So just important factor, the most important thing here if you're looking to play NVIDIA is set alerts. You got a trend line there, you got a trend line here, set alerts on all of those. I got an alert on the 200-day EMA. So I got this thing wrapped up. Pause. All right. NVIDIA. What else do we have? What was on my list? PLTR. We got that one taken care of. Baidu. I don't know why I don't have that written on my list. What am I doing here? For sure. Are you in that trade, USFD? I think there's a poltergeist in my house. I just had a marker, dude, and I dropped it, and I heard it hit the floor, and it is gone from existence.
Dude, check out BA when you get back. Instead of tripping.
Now the aesthetic is off. Whatever. You can't derail me. I got 2 black markers. Wait, is that black? Yeah, it's black. Oh, the tip sucks. Damn it. It's okay. Apple for sure. It's definitely on my list. Roblox. I don't know why I didn't go over that one. Roblox.
Remember when you were telling me about the triangle on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember how I posted that channel? Your channel was like more, not perpendicular, but more horizontal, and mine was more like diagonal. I didn't even see the triangle until like later today. I was looking back at it because I was looking to see if there was any use that drove some of that with volume too, and there wasn't. But I looked back at it and I was like, damn, I didn't see that triangle because the stock had already made the move for the day, and I was looking at it at the daily.
Right.
Like, where does he see a triangle? I see a double bottom. And then I deleted that day, and I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that breakout was ridiculous too.
That was insane. Yeah, the volume was pretty nuts on that.
Roblox. Wrap Technologies. If you guys did anybody catch that trade? That was a nice trade. It was just a simple, cheap, long. It was supposed to be a swing trade, but it ended up being a day trade. That was pretty sweet. I love when swing trades end up as day trades.
Oh, they're the best, dude.
Yeah.
Because you just like take profit. You're like, all right, I'm done. I don't gotta worry about swinging it, and they go.
Yeah. Wrap. Oh man. Wrap, and then AB, Alliance Bernstein. I think that one has more juice in it. I'm gonna take I think I might buy the $80 or $45 callback.
Who's that? AB?
Yeah, Alliance Bernstein. If you look at it, you'll chart it pretty quickly. I'm sure. I could pull it up right here really quickly.
Oh, shit.
But I caught it. I think we signaled at 43.89. So, and I got a $45 strike. So got a nice move on it. I think we still have much further to go though. Wrap looks like it's done, but oh man, how am I feeling about SOS? I'm just waiting on that one. Just give it time. It might end up pulling back a little bit. That I think that's one that you'll be glad you're in with like a remedial amount of equity, because it will continue to do that crazy pop. I think over and over again. AMD will be affected by NVIDIA earnings, but they look like they are going to absolutely dump. Not absolutely dump. I didn't mean it like that bad, but it looks like they're going to pull back. That was pretty dramatic. It looks like it's going to pull back to 76, 75. But okay, so let's see. Let me go over Roblox, and then I'll take some requests because I did put this in my channel. So check out.
So,
Huh?
one thing real quick, AMD below 70, like 2 even. This thing's going delay. This shit.
XP. Why are you saying sorry? You're good, man.
It's gonna fall. Like pretty hard, man.
Yeah, dude, did you see that sunburn on my back?
That was pretty nuts.
Bro, that
was
is...
bad, dude.
Dude, I could not reach that one spot in my back. I just didn't... I was so... I woke up, I was like, why is only one spot in my back hurt? And I went and looked in the mirror, and I was like, why does that look like a dog? It looks like a pug. It looks like I tried to make a picture of a pug on my back with a sunburn.
Dude, it looked bad. It looked pretty bad. Is it healing?
Nah, it's just... I just got it.
Yeah, dude, AMD's got a big gap to fill.
Okay, so this one, trying to see. No, it's incorrect. 1 second. Okay, so Roblox has a couple different things that could potentially happen here. It could tomorrow pull back and kind of taper a little bit. I think I'm trying to put my finger on it, but I think that if we did end up having a pullback, it would be somewhere around this 78.25 level. I'm going to pull that back up. So if you see where I dropped this line here, that's kind of where I imagine we would end up seeing it. Even if it ended up only falling back down a bit, if you look at how far away all of the EMAs are, it still has a considerable amount to kind of move. So to get these EMAs up and into this triangle, but all in all, I think that looking at the setup here, that within the week, we'll see another breakout on Roblox. Even if that ends up being to the downside. But we see the very obvious resistance of 80, well, I guess you could say 83, 84. That resistance there has been relatively large and has, or is going to be relatively large. So I think building a small base underneath that should give us the setup. If you look at the RSI on the hourly, definitely overbought. So it wouldn't be outside of, I'm pretty sure that we're going to pull back tomorrow. So could be wrong, but it is what it is. All right. Roblox. Apple. I know that Dim's going to want me to look at Apple, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Because I'm going to look at Apple anyway, too.
I look funky when I last looked at it, man. Apple.
I got it. I think I got it nabbed. I think right now we're this might have been the last hurrah for our boy here. We might see a pretty gnarly pullback, and I'll explain here shortly. All right. So not only did we get a dark cloud cover, we got more than that. We pretty much got a monsoon, a gap up above where we finished bullishly. And that candle lost 50% or more of the previous day's gains, and that happened on the 50-day EMA. That was the mark that we were talking about. Now we went over the correlating ETFs. Yeah, that was right. Wow, I just had a brain fart there again. But we went over SPY, went over Qs, and all of them had rejections at that price target that we talked about, and could still potentially go and retest the resistance that they broke, or just slide down. If that does happen, Apple is, I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bounces off of this daily support. And we have not, if you're just looking at the bigger picture, we have not made a higher high like just at all since we've hit 145. After that, that was it. We made dojis and then we've pretty much fallen from there. In my opinion, looking at this last candle, that's not something that you see in an uptrend. So in my opinion, I think that we could more than likely see Apple back down at 123. That is the support right here as well that we bounced off last time, right? So 123. And I would suspect on a lower time frame you will see a bounce there, but if you're long, so I talk about linear deviation a lot, and this is where that comes in handy. But if you look at this very, very strong support / resistance here, right? This is where we break initially. This is the cups resistance that we break over. This is this consolidation support and bounce level. And then going back here, this is actually the level that the split, right? When it initially split, that's where it settled at. So this is the split level, and this is where we're consolidating underneath that split level, and this support is pushing us up, right? It's consolidating this price action every time we hit support. And so now that we're back up against it, we're getting a very, very major rejection, in my opinion. I think Atlas would probably agree on that candle there. That means that we could potentially see 123, a break of that support there, and I'm quite certain that if I line this up, yep, look at that. Look at where the 200-day EMA is, and look at where this nearest support is. So my price target is 120, 119.50 going into this next week. I think is a reasonable price target for Apple, looking at that rejection. But be certain that you're taking into consideration the price action that we've seen in between 120 and 122.50. That is a lot of chop. And if you're in options, you need to be long. That way, if anything crazy happens, because here's the deal, if you break this support, you may retest the resistance or the support that you broke before you end up testing this 200-day EMA. Only if the market ends up like with a miniature flash crash or something of that nature would we actually see some type of relatively, strong down or pullback down onto support or down to that 200-day EMA there. So, but I mean, all in all, very bearish signs here on Apple. So I would be considering, if anybody's long-term Apple, if you have your hedge strategy, do that. If anybody's just small accounts, Apple is really, there's a lot of people who play Apple because it's not a bad account or small account friendly stock to play. Sometimes it moves a little bit wonky with SPY, but if you can catch the trend on it, right now we don't want to try and short support, right? That's not us. But we would like to catch the break. And so when it gets to support, we're going to be out of any short positions, and then we're going to be making an assessment there. This is the daily chart, and I don't know if anybody was March, February. I mean, I don't even want to count how many days we stayed in this range that I have. Look at this.
When you do chance, I posted a weekly chart, very similar target to yours. I just think we stay in that range for a really long time.
It's definitely probable.
I think August is when we start moving back up on Apple. Like really, really start moving back up.
We still have $90 puts because I see 116 as if we can get past. I mean, it's a big if. How you see a inverted hammer back on the week of March 15th.
15th?
Yeah.
Yep.
That immediately turns into a bounce to the upside, right?
Yeah.
So you had a ton of selling pressure, but the market and just generally, I think, I just think in general, like buying pressure, like stepping up there on that major support, because that is the split support, or resistance and support. So I mean, it's huge, and then breaking that would have us back down into, the last support, like I said, is 100. That's why the $90 contracts will pay. People will buy those and we'll sell it to them. But yeah, I mean,
do spreads on the balance. Just make sure that
if you're on anything, you need to be long.
Yeah, just go a little further out, and then just make sure you don't overexpose yourself.
Yeah, the wicks on Apple going down to support are showing the wicks show strength, but the volume doesn't show strength. The RSI still looks like it's going to be continuing to move to the downside. So, I mean, it's Apple. They're one of the best companies out there that you can potentially invest in. There's been a whole Apple hodlers for generations, damn near. So, them owns Apple. She just goes reports to Tim Cook about what retail traders are doing. She's like, yeah, I pretended to trade Apple with them, but really I just gathered sweet intel on what they. I'm just kidding. You better move. I'm not much of a spread guy. If anybody is on, I don't really take advantage of spreads as much as Atlas does. If you guys have questions on spreads, please feel free to reach.
I will say that, and I'm not 100% on this yet, guys, because I have a lot of stuff going on at work. But my work schedule might change a little bit to where I'm not like always doing pennies. So I'll have to do like spread swings. And if that happens, I'll be posting like probably 5 or 6 spread swings a week. And the reason I don't do them now is because I would rather just pick out pennies. I make more money scalping pennies than I do spreads. But if my work schedule does change, I will be posting spreads, like at least 5 or 6 a week. Okay, Alex, yeah, if you guys are into that, I'll definitely start kind of playing around with it a little bit more.
Shit, I guess I'll get into pennies. No, yeah.
I mean, trust me, pennies are my go-to, but like the things change with my work schedule. I'll definitely, it's still up in the air, so we'll see.
Yeah, now that I have TradeStation up, I'm actually going to be focusing, and with the small account, I'm going to be looking at that. Oh.
On pennies or spreads?
Pennies, yeah.
Pennies, gotcha. Then I will try to still do pennies. I won't be able to do them on live. This week, I have had a bunch of like work stuff that happened right in the mornings, and so it was tough for me to get on live right at open. So that's why I was messaging like penny pickers into the chat instead of getting on live and saying that.
Here's what we're gonna do, guys. This is gonna solve all of our issues. I'm gonna buy Atlas a pair of Google glasses, and we're gonna get like an Avengers earpiece, right? You never see them, but they're there. And then what we're gonna do? He's gonna be seeing the screener, and he'll just Garrett PLTR. No, I'm just kidding. GHWG CGHC3 or whatever weird ass tickers you give me. That would be sick. Hey, give it a few years with Elon's Neuralink.
I just trade my brain.
Dude, I could be in bed just like, oh yeah, set a limit order on Microsoft.
I could teach you them. I could teach you for sure. There's a lot of things I look out for.
Do you want to take a vacation and fly out to California? We'll go visit them.
Hang out with them. Teach you how to trade pennies.
We need to pick a vacation spot for the owners. Say, I have family in Santa Clarita. We have family in Santa Clarita.
Is that in? And I don't know.
That's the Los Angeles camp.
San Fran or where?
Yeah, I've got. Bro, what the fuck? That was Manny.
Oh my god, bro!
Anybody on YouTube? This is Manny. This man just came in like a wrecking ball.
He's streaming on YouTube, bro.
It's all good. We have fun here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and look at this stuff. Let's see here. All right, go slap your tickers down for request, my guys. And if you want, let me take a picture of what I wrote down. It's incomplete because I have ADHD, but I'm going to go take a picture of it anyway.
It's incomplete because I have ADHD. Oh my god.
Hoops.
Bro, I'm redoing all my indicators right now. It's like a complete mess. My charts are a mess.
Tim, don't take that away from me.
I'm getting rid of the lines, so I'm taking them off for clouds. Like that I could
Hey,
fade
yuck.
the too many lines.
There you go. I'm working on it.
10 above 1625, easy moves, $20.86. Easy move. That's an easy $4 move. Well, this is the weekly. So look at the daily. I didn't realize I was looking at the weekly.
I don't think anybody in here has ever seen my handwriting. Isn't that terrible?
Oh my god, that is a beautiful move.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say my handwriting. I was about to choke you through the internet deals. There's no way, dude. Don't lie to me like that.
B7, so you're gonna run into some pressure at 1695, but take from 1695 to 1990, the easy $3 move that you could bank on, no problem. Like there's no price action there ever. I think.
Yeah.
Well, okay, there's some, but it was like back in 2009. Those bad holders are gone. I would hope.
The whole thing back.
From 09.
Wow. That's
Imagine, bro.
Yeah, or Alice, you guys ever heard of the 72-day EMA?
yeah.
Yes.
You guys did.
I don't use it.
Old school, right?
I don't know. I'm just asking because I'm looking for like clouds. I think I found the clouds that work, but just the settings. But no, I can make it work. I'll say one second.
D7, I'm gonna be watching 10 with you. I actually like this setup.
Who?
10, TEN.
Oh yeah. Isn't that with they run with it runs with DK&G, right?
Oh, it's a gambling stock.
Yeah, Penn Gaming, right?
No, EEN. N.
Oh, not PENN. Okay.
Yeah. So like P is in Tom, E is in elephant, N is in Nancy.
Word. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Automotive equipment. Okay. Gotcha.
So I think
This is really nice here. It broke above its a bunch of its EMAs and moving averages and the whole on the 6th of May, and it's building a bull flag on a daily. So not the best bull flag, but it's a good one. It hasn't broken above its major moving averages since, my gosh, November of 2016.
How do you find that?
This is
Whatever.
this is my my USD now. I have two probability, two different outcomes that I'm looking at here. So I have this right here, right? So taking that support away there, we could bounce there. The volume here, every time we bottom out, it seems like I'm just watching the tape, and then I also was looking at what was it? The insider, or not insider buying, the congressional buying, and there was a couple of, I think he was out of Utah, but he makes a milli. I was looking at his record, and he bought a good bit of this USDF, and so I just went and looked at the chart, and I don't mind the chart at all. I think it's not a terrible setup, and in fact, hold on a second. Let me readjust that. Yeah, so it's actually on support. I don't know what happened to my chart there. I think that we could, seeing the consolidation here, if the shorts were going to take it down, it would have been really relatively easy to do so. My stop loss for this one is basically the tip of that 37.65. Once we bottom out there, I do believe that we could see a bounce off of that support, and see a break above, seeing how close everything is. And none of these EMAs are pointed down. The RSI is just kind of sitting around this area, relatively good. And then with earnings, the earnings just happened and it pulled back, bounced. Usually if earnings were going to be any more impactful, we would have seen some continuation on that move. So I'm expecting a bounce back up, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. I think setting alerts on that one around, if you see after hours too, you have a nice big push up, but I have the hourly 200-day EMA at 38.75 as a mark to beat on that. My stop loss would likely be underneath 37.65, as I said before, and then I would expect a bounce at 36.75. Wait, did I say it? Hold on, I said that. 37.75. Excuse me. Stop loss is 37.75. Bounce off support, I think, would likely have us around 37.35, right around here. So, okay. What swings are you guys in?
Yo, do you swing Apple 128s?
No.
Jeez.
Did I signal that? No, we swung Apple puts though. Man, I swear. Yes, dude, yes. Go look at Thursday and Friday. We swung Apple puts from Thursday, Friday. Dude, imagine waking up to that.
Was it calls? I thought it was put. Well, something was there.
Yeah, I don't remember. No, but no, I definitely swung puts. Those were nice. Anyway, let's go back to live trading. Just HLET. Tesla. Tesla is at support with okay, so this one I'm curious about because it has like the ultimate like fake out like setup here to like fake the shit out of people. So excuse me. Oh, am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Hopefully. I don't lose my channel now. You can say whatever the hell you want on YouTube. Never mind, what am I talking about? So descending wedge right here, right? It hardly took it below that support that we were watching. That basically $600 support. You have a few bounces underneath, and then you end up getting a break of downtrend, right? Well, here's a support right here, right? That we were making another wedge on that we ended up breaking down out of. So now we've basically retested that support, which is backed up by the 200-day EMA, and that has given us a bounce here. So what I'm thinking now is we see it's kind of crazy because the resistance that we broke is now perfectly aligned with the support that we bounced off of. This is sounding confusing. Hopefully nobody's listening to this as podcast style. They're like, what the fuck is he talking about?
What?
The who's doing what? But the 200-day EMA is lined up perfectly with that support there, showing me strength. So I think that we could potentially see another leg down and bounce off of 600, which would line up with Apple. It would line up with everything else that we've seen. And basically, at this point, looking at the daily, it sure looks like we have kind of a bear flag. It's pretty ugly, but I mean, actually, I wouldn't even put a flag on that. But it's not showing strength. So same thing with Apple that we talked about with or same thing with Tesla that we talked about with Apple. This range that we're on, right? Hold on. Yeah. So we're well past split levels, but this is still a really, really choppy zone that we could continue to see. Like, be careful. Like, if you look at Apple's daily, that's like treacherous waters. Same thing on Tesla here. This is the 200-day EMA on the daily. That's where this red candle pulled back to on this daily time frame. If I delete all this mess right here, get out of here, get out of here. So we're on the 9, on the 200. It's really, you look at the RSI, you look at where it's at on the chart, and it just looks like we're going to continue to see consolidation. So I wouldn't, if you're going to be playing anything, this could present relatively decent scalps if you can catch it in trend. But I honestly think that if Tesla does not bounce here, and I don't know, I could be crazy, but we could see one more bounce up to and around 675 if something within the market changed. If we decided to go gap up crazy and moved up around 597, let me see, hold on, let me double check that mark. Excuse me, 600. Basically finish a daily candle above 600. There's a relatively decent chance that we could bottom here and move up. If not, then I would say that Tesla is more than likely absolutely going back to pre-split levels or post-split level. So basically 500 on the dot.
Good.
If you're a long-term Tesla holder, I don't hate Tesla. I'm just looking at the chart. This could be a chart for gummy bears, and I would still tell you the exact same thing.
Bro, I have the same target. I have 455, which I know is a little bit more bearish than you, but
Hey. I see that. So that's definitely the. I'm giving it some love, because you think about like.
Don't get me wrong, I love Tesla too, but I don't love the chart setup.
No.
Unless we really can just get some crazy news here and create like a giant double bottom, I think it could potentially see like 455.
Dude, go look at Spies Weekly.
Okay. Let me see.
Bro, oh my god. And then that's the look. I'm gonna throw up.
See, that looks like it's gonna go back up, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude, we're gonna rebound so hard, bro.
Yeah, we're not gonna. It's gonna rebound, but it's gonna go straight up to 425 and then slap people right in the chest.
Those 618, those 618, 410 puts, man. The longer we get to do, the more data gets to.
Dude, I've had this pattern drawn on SPY for a while now, and it was before it broke out of it, but just that to me is interesting that it went back in it a couple of times and then popped right out. Didn't even bother staying in.
Yeah. The bang.
Yeah.
We have to set it up, are ready to
What
use the full range of tools. Apple looks good though. Not even gonna lie, on its weekly.
Let me see the weekly on Apple. I haven't looked at the weekly.
Oh, the week.
Oh, I did actually look at the weekly. I think Apple looks good, but I think it's a 4-month play. Long.
Yeah, I believe it. Easily.
Like, I think in like the next 2 or 3 months, it's gonna just be trading like shit.
Dude, this is we're in the shitstorm here. It looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have not touched Tesla since the whole BS started.
Well, you shouldn't touch anything without their consent. So good. Okay, sorry. Do hourly gaps usually fill? Hell yeah. All gaps get filled.
When you think that gap is not going to get filled,
It
that's
gets
when
filled.
it gets filled.
Yeah. That's gaps. That's good.
Trading 101.
Dude, I found a gap in here. That's kind of cool.
Oh,
Yep.
for real?
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
look at this on my
Looks like
stream.
gas can and everything.
This is why I didn't think that I had any money, dude. I was literally looking and it was like net worth, realized P&L, dude. I've got like accounts. It was there. I could have traded on Friday. Ugh.
Oh, in TradeStation in the small account?
Yeah, it's linked to my trading view now. So now people, yeah, we're gonna build this sucker. I'm a little shaky on the platform, so I hope that doesn't fuck me up. Excuse me, but
Did you set it up yet or no?
hell no.
Bro, come on, man.
A busy weekend, dude. I had to go get oppressed by the sun with my children.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a whole personal issue there with you and the son.
That's generational. What are you talking about?
The generational issue.
I'm white. We get burned by the sun. No, shit.
However, you okay? Hold on. Let me see where you're
Baidu is a favorite. Baidu, I would say my top playlist. I have, I'm not gonna post it in the chat as close as I feel with all of you guys, but I basically put sunburn. I did do that as well, but I put sunblock lotion on my back myself, and one of my shoulders like is just like wonky, like it doesn't sit right, so I can't reach a certain part in my back. So it looks like I sunburned a pug, like a outline of a pug on my back, like a dog. So go look at the picture, Manny, and you'll see it. But yeah, so I have like just one very uncomfortable spot, but it also, I got Doge on my back. Yeah, that's what I should have done. All in.
Doge back. So, dude, not to go off topic here, but we are talking about sunburns. So, I have some interesting internet stuff that I found about crypto and market manipulation that I think you'll find very intriguing.
No, it's intriguing, Gary. I watched it. It's intriguing, dude.
Well, real quick, just for YouTube's sake, let me go ahead and finish charting up whatever the rest is. And
You can't get my biases because God, they watch that shit.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to share it with the chat either because I don't want people like freaking out or thinking things are weird. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to, if you really want it, let me know and I'll DM it to you, but I'm not going to post it in the chat.
everybody's gonna DM you, so you might as well post it. I'm just kidding. Make a channel that says "Look if you dare." Too late.
I posted in crypto chat. Alright, how about that? Okay, and I'll talk about it real quick so I don't have to type it all out. There was a guy on 4chan that before the biggest dump that we've had in crypto, especially in Bitcoin, posted that he works for a large firm and that this large firm is trying to cause somebody to liquidate their long positions on
a dude in China.
They were in margin. They were in a large amount of margin. And they said in their post, China is about to release some information and we are going to sell Bitcoin off. And they said they posted a specific time.
Yeah, on the dot.
Then they came back and posted again and said, guys, sorry for the delay. It's actually going to happen between this time and this time. I went back and looked at the chart. The dude was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Except it didn't go as low as he wanted it.
They even elaborated on the fact that it would break down out of a triangle.
Exactly.
They knew what they were going to build, right? This is how market. They're giving you an insider look. This is a good learning opportunity.
So let me see if I can find it. I'm missing one of the pictures. Screenshot.
What the fuck?
Some 4chan.
Yeah.
So essentially, an anonymous user on 4chan posing as a not posing as maybe, who knows, but saying that he works for a firm, they were going to liquidate their holdings, and that they were going to dump Bitcoin. This was a grouped effort by institutions and hedge firms alike, China as well. I've heard even so far as allegedly the U.S. government, blah blah blah. Allegedly. All right.
Allegedly.
Dim, you're the best. She could tell me to say baloney in front of a sentence for legal purposes. I'd believe her. I'm not even joking.
No, I mean, I would too.
She's like, make sure you elaborate on allegedly. Yeah.
Let me rephrase, guys, all that stuff I said earlier as well. Allegedly.
Yeah, everything is all for educational, and it's all allegedly.
Yes.
We don't know. Except for my charts. They be on point. Hey, no, I was kidding.
Allegedly.
I just dabbed on YouTube, so, oh God. What?
I posted screenshots in crypto chat if you want to see the post that the guy made. The chat, his post got taken down and the whole entire thread got taken down. He reposted again recently.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I took a screenshot of this recent post, but I actually found the link to it. And he said, looking for another leg down, potentially 28K. The dip got bought up pretty quickly. Don't know if we're going to be able to make that target. And then I guess they're going long from there, but they're trying to liquidate one guy. From what I've heard, allegedly, from what I've heard, they're trying to liquidate some guy named Justin Sun. Don't know who he is. Justin Sun, yeah. Don't know who that guy is, but that's allegedly who they're trying to liquidate. That's rumored. That's all I know. Allegedly.
Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yo, can you guys take one shot real quick? You guys have questions?
Yeah.
You don't know if
I can't actually. I'm streaming
I
my.
know.
I can't. Well, I can on my phone. Hold on.
So, dude, how it's drawn, the 1, right, it's at the bottom, right? And the 0 at the top. Isn't that how you draw extensions?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's drawing a retracement of the extension.
That makes no sense to why he would draw the extension out, though. What you would want to know is a retractment so you can know where it's going to bounce.
Hold on. Yeah, sure.
I fucking hate that guy. I don't know why.
You get what I mean, right, Gary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying. He could post anything, dude. It's hot dog water.
Exactly. But I just, I want to know, because look, if I draw a retractment, dude, like, it's on point, bro. On point.
Dude, the nearest support I see for Baidu is 148. Oh, God, I'm going to short the ever-living.
Nice out of that.
Oh, God, you better say your prayers. All right. Yeah, these same people also did say that there could be a run up to 100K. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm going to look right at the camera. Maybe I'm going to eat crow, but I don't think that's ever probable. I don't think that you can take. I just don't think that you can value coins at that at $100,000 a coin. I just don't think that's I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it as a probability. All right, Tiva. We're gonna look at Roku as Square because those are by request. Holy shit, Tiva looks great. Actually, yo, that's a nice setup right there. Just got through breaking out. I like that. It's more of a wedge, but. Yeah, look at that. Wow, what a clean ass breakout.
Notice that clean ass move, dude. Draw favorite tracks on the 4-hour of the video for Friday. From the pre-market high of Thursday, and then, from the day's high of Thursday as the low, and then that pre-market high. Like, the fucking candle bars align perfectly in the chart. That was scary.
Scary.
So I wonder how many watches this little more in the video. There's more left in there. There's more juice left there.
Roku is sitting on support. That's not a very strong run up, I'm not gonna lie. I tell you what, you could play Roku short below 320 with your first target being around 320, or excuse me, 315. And then I'd say at 300 if it ended up actually pulling back. Yeah, it's up against resistance. It needs to have a breakout day tomorrow. It needs to break out. It's on support, so I think you'll see actually, no, it's not quite there yet, but there we go. So bounce off of. Oh fuck it, yeah, the 200 right there. 323.50. Somewhere in that range. So. Okay, Roku, Tiva. allegedly.
Yeah, Roku couldn't hold the ball. When he did retract, man, that previous lower high to the lower low, it rejected the 50%, which was really high.
Square looks like a hot pail of garbage right now. Oh shit, that one looks terrible. What happened here? What did they do?
They have maybe down the share.
Looks like you're in dire need of a freaking bounce. I tell you what. You have a bearish engulfing there, so I think you might see 190, 191 on Square going into next week. So I'd watch for a break below that. Anything below 190, and he hooked up.
Yucked up, man.
Hey, Kenny's watching on YouTube.
Kenny?
Kenny?
Our Kenny?
The Kenny.
Kenny watches YouTube?
If anybody's into quantum stuff, by the way, if you go on IBM, you can actually like run quantum hardware and like mess around with stuff. And I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm learning. I'm trying to. It's weird. Okay, so as far as I think we got Apple down, Baidu, pretty much everything on my playlist.
Yo,
So the Western girl was waiting, you never got back to it?
I bet your name, you didn't respond.
Oh.
You could. I just sent it to you in owner's chat. I literally went back and played it.
I'm gonna go look at the list of IPOs within a year. No,
Retraction plus extension drawn?
Yeah.
IPOs that are 1 year
That's
old.
it. That's how you did it, bro.
I want a list of Damn, I wish I was Michael Burry.
Right, so you can just download somebody and
Just go through like endless piles of files. Yeah, I need you to bring me up all the.
Sure, and those bonds, you know, it's made up of like hundreds of. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Go ahead. Thanks. That'll be all.
Alright, I got you, bro. So that makes sense.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. Those of you who want the recording, this has all happened on YouTube with my face on it and Manny's memes and everything.
Hello.
I got something called Figs. Interesting. Wait, Robinhood added IPO access? Wow. So you can get screwed before? And then after?
Dude, so I was reading something really interesting, okay? And you know, I don't care about Robinhood. I don't
Yeah.
give two shits about them. And I can't stand the broker. But apparently a lot of people were saying, like, if you think you're gonna short Robinhood, you're, like, sadly mistaken.
You're out of your fucking mind. Why would you
Yeah.
do that?
They said, if anything, you take that thing long as possible.
Yeah, you don't think the institutions and fucking hedge firms aren't going to be on... That man's not doing that shit for no reason. Y'all crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? I could say, like, to anybody, if If it feels like an opinion, just don't just fucking ignore you. Just stop.
Dude, Robin Hood is so ironic, like the name in general and how the company.
What is the bear? What is the guy who robs? Who actually is the tax collector? What's that guy?
Dude, what Robin Hood robbed from the rich to the poor. This dude is robbing from the poor to the rich.
No, it's just Prince John has Robin Hood skin and is. That's it. That's the whole story. No happy ending. That's it.
Where can I go to IBM to play around that quantum stuff you were mentioning earlier?
You have to be hired there. Oh, shit.
Launch IBM Quantum.
Here it is. IBM Quantum Composer. The fox in the chicken suit. There you go. Thanks, B7. He's got the. Yeah, you know what sucks though is as soon as you come up with something fire on this thing, you're gonna take it. I know. I'm going. Costco. I think that one might end up making a rounded top. That one's got earnings. I might take that one short. I think it's gonna go back down to 368. It's gonna dump again. It might. I don't know. All right, Costco or Crowd. Excuse me.
Alright, you guys have a wonderful night. See you guys.
Don't tell me what to do. Okay. All right, man. Have a good night.
Later.
I do like Costco too. If anyone wants to send me the muffins that they make there, it'd be really nice. This has a very large pennant on the daily here. So far, making good movement. I think, Dim, you can play this one to 217.50, if I'm not mistaken. $220 tops, but $219.50 is what I got right here. So it looks like your nearest level, your level above you that you have right now is 212. Obviously 210 is going to be is where you're at now. That's a psychological number, but 212 and then 215.50. But I think what could end up happening here, Dim, and this could be a good setup for everybody. That's a really nice rounded bottom, really nice potential cup, right? So what happens here when we get to that resistance? We're going to use the angle, right? That's a perfect setup for a flag. Look at the flag already. The structure for the flag is already there for us to fill it. We have the support here. So we can potentially pull back from 315 to 314.50, bounce there, make our little cup, right, and our cup and handle, and then see a breakout to the upside. So, and that concludes tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, guys. We went over PLTR. We went over all the major Qs, Baidu, Apple, Tesla. I feel like there's a bunch more. I didn't go over XPVE. That one right there, man, pretty easy on this one. It's at support on the hourly. If it breaks here below 28.30 and holds the hourly candle below that, more than likely you are going to see a trip back down to 27.40. That's your 200-day EMA. Where you can continue to consolidate or take another trip back down to support. Right now, that's your downtrend. So I imagine we could see something like this, Sean. Pull back there, bounce there. And then at this point, we'll have to evaluate. It does look like it could potentially build a little head and shoulders there. If that's the case, then more than likely we'll find XPVE back down at 2650. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Those of you on YouTube, those of you who want to watch the whole thing, it'll be posted on there. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. Yep. If you guys have any questions, anything before tomorrow, shoot me a DM. You guys know the deal. And go subscribe to the TikTok if you want to laugh. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all of those. If you guys don't mind giving us a follow, much appreciated.
Follow me on Twitter as well if you want to see me rant about useless stuff and stocks.
He.
So just make sure though.
I also have a new Twitter for my personal trading account, which is Potter Stocks. I had to do it, all right. I can't keep calling
I love it.
What else am I gonna do, all right? The story behind these glasses is literally like, I don't know, maybe it's inspirational for someone, but I literally bought them. I was broke, right? Like 3-4 years ago. I fluctuated between square and circle, and I knew I'm not a square, so I went with circles. So I bought them. They were $9, and I was like, these are the cheapest glasses I can find. And I needed my daughter or my son and myself were responsible for breaking. This is one of my maybe not so good traits, but I've probably gone through like maybe 30 plus glasses in my life, maybe more. Well, I'm not really good with the physical reality, you know, like just this is where I my talent, but I just continuously breaking my glasses. I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna break my glasses, I'm gonna get glasses that I can continuously replace over and over. So I went and I bought 10 pairs of these particular glasses, and if you get them on Zennies, they're $9, prescription and everything, right? Bro, I'm telling you, Zenni Optical, they have the most fire glasses for no money, none. My black ones that I have, I should be getting paid for this. I'm gonna call Zoomsies or Zennies. Yeah, with prescription, transitions are $30. Transitions, like my glasses. If anybody saw my story, my dark circled glasses, those cost me like $40, and they have like blue light protect. They have all of it. I'm like, damn, people in Walmart getting scammed. Well, there you go. There's another value play for you. Buy Zennies on support. ZenniOptical.com. I'm gonna hit them up, see if I can't get paid promotion on that one. I'm just kidding. Zennies. Zenni.
So I'm reading about this quantum computer with IBM.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not using quantum material. They're using like classic computing material and then doing the quantum calculations in the cloud.
Yeah.
Because the computer, we don't have a computer that can handle. Well, Google and China made one, but it can't handle actual computations. So they have to do the computations in the cloud. But that's interesting. I'm reading about it now.
Yeah, the setup, man, was the whole. I watched the whole video on it. It was really, really interesting. I really love that kind of stuff.
You know who Lex Friedman is?
Who?
Lex Friedman. So Lex Friedman is a good.
Was he in a documentary recently, or was there a documentary about him?
He might have been. He's like super young and is a PhD at MIT.
Okay, then I definitely have heard of him. I can't think of the face right now.
He interviews one of the guys that is like at the forefront of quantum computing, and he did a podcast, and I watched it a few months ago. It came out maybe 5 or 6 months ago, but I watched it. I follow him because he shows up on Joe Rogan's podcast all the time. So I listen to his stuff as well. But he interviews the guy who worked on the quantum computer that is owned by Google. So it's really interesting when they talk about it. But they go, it's like 2.5 hours long. It's really interesting. You should check it out. The guy's name is find his name. Scott Aronson.
Yeah. Okay.
And watch their interview, and the most recent interview, like I said, like from 6 months ago. It's really interesting. And they talk about quantum computing and like certain limitations that we have today, but certain things that we have surpassed over the past few years, and like where the future of it is going. And then like remember how yesterday, or not yesterday, the other day I was talking about like, the whole credit card thing.
Yeah.
They used that as an example. They were like, that today is like is not possible, but they said potentially in the future that would be possible. But they said that like if quantum computers got to a point to where they could crack people's like bank accounts, then anything would be crackable. So they said they're working on